Hello, welcome to another video, or if this is the first video of mine you are watching, hey, what's up? Today I am doing another one of those incoherent book babbles, and this is probably going to be exceptionally incoherent because it's been a little while since I actually finished the book and I have such strong emotions about it, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to tell you what I think. First up, sorry about the lighting, it's literally like pitch black, it always is these days. Where's the sun gone? So I've had to put my lamp on, sorry, blah blah blah, whatever. Anyway, as you can tell from the title of the video, the book I'm talking about today is A Conjuring of Light by V.E Schwab. V.E Schwab has so quickly become my favourite author like ever. I can't even put into words how much I love this woman's writing. It is phenomenal. Like, for such a hefty book, like a book of this size would normally take me like a good while to read. But I felt like I absolutely flew through this. I could not put it down. Absolutely couldn't put it down. I loved it so much through and through. Hands down, I gave it 5 stars. I gave the book before 5 stars. I gave A Darker Shade of Magic 4 when I read it, but that was because I was reading it and then I stopped to read Akabor and then picked it up again. So I blame myself for that, not the book. Because I think that now if I went back and reread it, it would be a 5-star read for me. Because I think everything that V.E Schwab puts onto paper is phenomenal, quite honestly. And this was no exception. I loved it with all of my heart and all of my being, and the characters are fantastic, the setting's fantastic, the magic is fantastic. I cannot fault this book in like any way, which is almost annoying because it means I haven't really got much of a like babble to give you, because all I'm doing is telling you it's fantastic. If you haven't read it, read it. If you haven't read the rest of the series, read it. If you like magic and wizards of sorts and alternate dimensions and travelling and pirates and dark magic and good magic and all other sorts of magic, then you can't go wrong. When I was reading this, I was completely transported. I can't even put into words what this book did to my being. Like, when I was reading this, I was nowhere else. I was in it completely. Kel, Lila, Alucard, Rye. Is it Rye? Or is it Ree? Rye. It's Rye, isn't it? Anyway, all of the characters were just phenomenal and I love them all very, very deeply. I feel like I should try and like actually put some like coherent thoughts together around why this book was so well executed. And for me, a big chunk of the reason was Delilah Bard. I know a lot of people don't like Lila. I love her. I think it seems to be quite a clear divide. There are people that don't like her and there are people that do. And the people that do are like head over heels in love with this character. And I am head over heels in love with Delilah Bard. I think she is phenomenal. I think she's fantastically created. She's so flawed and so annoying at times. She's selfish and arrogant, but she's also like kick-ass and fearless, but also not fearless, because, you know, there are moments where she says like, what does she say? Something along the lines of like, are you scared? And he says, and Kel says yes, and she's like, good, because I'd call you stupid if you weren't. Like, something along those lines. Like, she does feel fear, but that's where the bravery comes into it, I suppose. Bravery is when you feel fear, but you do it anyway. And I think she's a very brave and courageous character. And she doesn't shy from adventure, and I just love her on every single level. Similarly, Kel. I love Kel on every single level. A big thing in this book is obviously Holland. Spoilers here. I don't have anything else to say spoiler free, so here is where like spoilers become apparent. The storyline around Holland in this book is where like most of the narrative goes. It's on developing Holland's story. You learn so much more about him. And Holland's end is so bittersweet in this because you learn so much about his history and his past and how he's been treated by the people in his life, and you know, the sort of life he's had to lead, not running, but fighting for his life because people want to kill him for his powers in, you know, in White London where he's from, and you know, they kill for power, and Holland is so powerful. He's had to kind of live with, you know, keeping an eye out for himself all the time, not trusting people. And the people that he does feel like he can trust, like his brother, obviously that's a murder that he has to commit because his brother tries to kill him. His lover tries to kill him. And then what was his name, Vitari, at the end, and he dies as well, and everyone important in Holland's life has died because of Holland in a way, and you know, his life has just been so traumatic, and then he's, you know, captured by the Danes, and the Danes make him their manslave in every way. And it's just torture and torture, and he never had the ability to do things on his own terms the way that he wanted to. Which is why I think the end is so bittersweet, because although Holland obviously does die, he dies on his own terms, free of anyone else. He's got no binds to him. He decides that he wants to go back. He makes the sacrifice. He decides he wants to go to the Silverwood, and that's where he's at rest in his own home, on his own terms. No one else telling him what to do, how to do it. He just gets to be free and be himself in his final moments, which is glorious because that's what Holland's always wanted, but also really, really fucking sad because the moment he's free, he dies, and it's just very sad. But you know, he gets to do it on his terms, so there's some sort of positivity in there as well. The plot line of this book, absolutely, I was told that this one gets a bit darker than the other ones, and it absolutely did. Of course it did. There was like death. So many people died. I do love it when an author isn't afraid to kill their characters, but when Hastra died, I was like, my heart broke a little bit because Hastra did not deserve that in any way. He was a sweet, innocent little petal, and he did not deserve the end that he met, and it broke my heart. But then that like fueled Kel in a way, and you know, everything was just so like properly done. Everything had its place, and it was all just executed so well. I feel like I could honestly talk about this forever because there's so much in there. Like, I was just thinking, when I said the word executed, I was thinking about the execution part where they're supposed to be executing Holland and they lay that trap for Oseron and it doesn't work, and then there's all that pain in Ree. I think Ree's character and the pain and the like mental battle he's going through is fantastic. Like, it's devastating, but it's also fantastic. Like, from a reader's perspective, like, it's devastating because you feel his pain, but you know, V.E Schwab did such a fantastic job of portraying all that emotion in him, and I just love it all so much. Like, I could go off on so many tangents here, but I honestly could go forever, and that's not good. I said I was gonna, you know, babble incoherently, and I've babbled incoherently. I don't want to go on forever, I don't want this to be too long, but I just want to say I freaking loved it in every sense of everything. I think this is the best book I've ever read in my life. Definitely, hands down, the best book I've read this year. I'm sorry to everything else that I've said I loved. I still love everything else I've said I love, but this book takes the cake. It's fantastic, and anyone out there who has not read the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy needs to get their ass into gear and read it, because it is the best thing since sliced bread. Since before sliced bread. It's the best thing in the world, and I already want to do a full series reread of it. I'll probably do that next year though. I'm going to be getting the special edition of A Darker Shade of Magic for Christmas, so maybe I'll reread the special edition and then do a full series reread after that. Because I definitely feel like reading it for a second time, there will be so many things that I didn't notice the first time that I will notice the second time, and it will just be like phenomenal. Not that it wasn't phenomenal the first time, but I think it will be even more phenomenal the next time, because like, you've already got the understanding and you'll notice so much more. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop because I'm getting excited. If you've read this book, if you've read this trilogy, which if you've read this one you will have read the other two, I'm assuming, talk to me about them because I love them so much. And if you haven't, you shouldn't be at this point of the video anyway, but if you haven't, then go read them. And yes, I'm gonna stop right now. If you have enjoyed this incredibly incoherent book babble, then please give us a thumbs up, chat to me down in the comments. If you aren't subscribed and fancy subscribing, I'm always eternally grateful for that. I upload every Sunday and Wednesday and some odd days in between if I'm feeling generous. And I will see you next time. Bye!